Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Yeah, it's apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like we had some audio issues, but welcome. If you just tuned in, this is the Apex Racing League Touring Car Britain series, and tonight we've got a special treat for you. We are at Oulton Park, a very picturesque track in the English Cheshire countryside. I think this track has been existing for almost 60 years now. So it's going to be interesting to see how the racing goes here. In studio with me, I've got Andrew Woodas commentating with me, and of course we've got the amazing Samuli Kumo on the cameras as well. And it's going to be an interesting night, Andrew. What do you think about the track car combination and the drivers' chances tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Johan. Well, welcome everybody. It's Thursday night. You know what that means. Apex Racing League Touring Car action on Apex Racing TV. It's great to say that. It's great to be back. Having covered about 500 of these races and driven in a few, won one. You know, I'm happy to be here. And Oulton Park, Johan, it's going to be a fantastic meeting that we've got here on our hands today. The drivers are going to find it difficult to overtake around here. You know, it's not a wide circuit. It's undulating. It's bumpy. You've got the chicanes here, you can see it on your screen now. Tyre barriers on the inside. So if you get your line wrong, well, you're going to be in serious trouble. You mentioned there were drivers coming through from the back who had some penalties. I think it's going to mean that the progress is going to be slower than normal. They might have to get the old elbows out a little bit. Expect maybe some, you might see some door mirrors littered around the Cheshire countryside tonight.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be a bit argy-bargy at some point. And one of the drivers that is starting from the pits, and that's kind of going to be causing a bit of chaos, is of course Will Redford. I'm just getting that data up on my screen to confirm that for you. But he's shown back when he was driving from the back in Brands Hatch that he's definitely a driver that can work his way through the field if maybe a little bit aggressively. I think that might be why he is starting from the pits for both race 1 and 2. But
the touring car jail that we see, and you know, yeah, over the years we've seen many people frequent it. You know, they'll be getting a loyalty card soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's hope we don't add more drivers to that group, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if we ran that properly. I maybe just want to bring up the standings again while we're still busy with qualifying. So looking at our overall championship standings, we've got Will Equal out in front, then Kieran Smart, Will Redford, Mark Hutchinson, Dennis Neithart, Igor Shirokov, Lemuel Maroney, and then I'm just going to go on the surnames. 8th place we've got Neithart, Romy, Andreassens, Rafatea, Glasgow, Manners, Smith. Winners in position 15, then Coles, Ruggieri, and Maniti in 18. Then for the AM category, Lemuel Maroney, Dario Rafatea, Ian Manners, Scott Smith, Stuart Winners, Adam Coles, 7th place Fabrizio Ruggieri, Paolo Maniti in 8th, Victor Lewandowski in 9th, Adam Kindness in 10th, and then we've got Kolasho, Klist, Gill, Dominguez, Redford, Walsh, Belny in 17th, and Hubler in 18th.
Well, qualifying well underway, Johan, and we're already seeing 4 minutes, and Kieran Smart already the front runner by only 4 thousandths over Dennis Neithart. And we know Dennis Neithart from seeing him on the channel previously has got a bit of pace about him. Will eat well. We've seen him do great things so far this season in the Honda. 3 manufacturers in the top 3. It's early days, Johan, but it proves that this balance of performance is working to some degree at least.
Yeah, it's been a thorough mix. We haven't really seen dominating cars. I mean, had in the previous race, we kind of thought that the track wasn't really suited for the Hondas, and there I mean, Eatwell performed quite well there, and he's performed well in all of the races. Really, he's now in third place, but he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Smart with Hyundai also fairly good, but they Eatwell jumping to the top with a 142.882, just showing that Honda is definitely very capable. And of course the Audis, I think the longest on the service is kind of the car that I would place my bets on. They're really, really good in a straight line, and I think that might come in handy here at Oulton Park.
The fastest time in the practice, 1:42.691, so they're getting close to that already, even after a couple of the laps. With these TCR cars, of course, if anybody's new to the series, welcome, of course. The first couple of laps, Johan, we know the tyres are very cold, and the car slides around a lot, understeers as well. You can't really, it takes a few laps to get that lap time out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's always kind of the tricky bit with qualifying, and here you've got a very packed field. I mean, just to find a gap out on track that's got clean air in front of you that you can run in, that's always tricky. And I mean, you can see there one of the cars going off. Something like that can really ruin one of your solid laps, and then if you need to start over, warm those tires up again, that completely puts you on the back foot, and you don't really know whether you can deliver your best then. So it's absolutely crucial that you kind of keep your nose out of trouble and keep away from anyone that might really be in your way.
Well, especially if you've come from, say, watching Formula One or any open wheel competition, really. Even in sim racing, 15 minutes seems like a long time for qualifying. When you're doing those quick 3-lap runs, maybe 4-lap run. But here, when it takes 4 or 5 laps to get the tyres to the optimum window, and considering these cars are a lot slower and it's taking 1:40 odd to get round, there's really, like you say, a tipping point between, do I carry on with this run and try and extract another 10th or 2, or do I come in and get the fresh tyres, but make sure you do it early enough so you can finish your laps? It's a tough balance for these guys.
I definitely agree, but they do know what they're capable of. Kind of a bit of a surprise at the moment. We've got Gil in 6th place, one of the AMs, up there with the pros. It's a driver that we haven't really seen up front with the heavy hitters. So it's an interesting development. It's going to be really good for him at the start. He's got that buffer of Glasgow, Andreassens, and Ward was there. Cole's just jumping into 10th. So some of the AM drivers really performing well here at the moment. Manners into 10th place as well. So the times are coming in hot and fast.
We've seen over the years many different layouts used for touring car racing here. There's the Foster's circuit, which you can just see at the bottom, which goes off to the right, coming after Cascades Bend. And we've seen various chicanes used or not used. But when we're using this full layout, which is the international layout, I believe, it really does turn this into a long lap. And for David Gill to be honest, 7/10 of a second behind pole position at the moment, as an AM driver, very, very good over such a long circuit.
Yeah, he's been practicing during the week for sure. There's a few usuals that we're not really seeing up top. I'm trying to get to the name. So Maroney in 18th position. He's actually the AM driver that usually qualifies in between the pro drivers. So it's a bit odd to see him back there. He might just not have really gotten his rhythm in, or it might not be a track that agrees with him. But it's a bit odd to see him that far back.
Yeah, I mean, there could be many factors. I mean, he's only the 6th fastest Audi at the moment. So yeah, he'll be looking for some improvement. I'm sure he will be able to get that as the Italian makes his way around the track. I'm sure he'll be looking to eke some more time out of it. But there is as well the thing that, you know, TCR Britain, this is of course ARL TCR Britain, and some of the drivers may never have driven these circuits before, so even with a bit of practice, it doesn't really compare to some people who will have been going around here for years and years, I suppose.
Definitely agree. I'm just going to quickly jump in with one of our sponsors. So massive thanks to Virtual Racing School. You can use them to improve your track performance with their 50 plus data packs for road and oval racing. They've also got setups, track guides, and most importantly their data analysis software that you can kind of use to compare your laps with that of the data packs. And they've also got one-on-one coaching if you do feel like you need a bit of TLC for your racing.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do with some. You know, if anybody's ever seen me race, they will know. I need all the help I can get. But, you know, I'll look at, here's Cowlishaw then, we're on board with him. And this will be a good look at this chicane at Britain's. Fires it in over the curbs. Curb's not too bad actually, considering the size of the relatively flat curb. And now onto this long back straight, and we're going to be reaching Hislop. Any second now, hard on the brakes, turns it in, missed the tyre stack on both sides. You've got to get as close to that as possible to maximise your lap time through Knickerbrook and up over Clay Hill. Getting a nice slipstream from that Honda in front, Johan, as well. As will it get out of the way approaching Druids? I'm not sure it will, so this might hold him up slightly. Sliding all over the place, that Honda.
Yeah, it's. I think it might have compromised his run a little bit. Honda really trying his utmost best. I think he's feeling a bit of pressure. That is one.
Whoa. Ooh. 134 is Jason Nethery, the American, and could be an outlap for him as well. Where, I mean, looking at how much that thing was moving around and giving him trouble, yeah, it could well have been an outlap. That.
Well, I think his outlap has gone out of the circuit. Cowlishaw just making his
somewhere, didn't he?
Cowlishaw making his way around, and that's just an absolutely lovely looking car on the start of the lap through Cascades. And this, to me, this is kind of one of the interesting parts of the circuit, because this is the part where you get to pull alongside. But if you want to make so he just went through Island Bend and then here into Shell's Oil Corner. If you pull alongside in Island Bend, that can end in absolute tears. So it's always interesting to see what the drivers do there after they pull together through Cascades.
Remember, we used to race the old IndyCar here, the original Dallara IndyCar, and that was one of the few places where you could maybe get a run on somebody on here, and yeah, you got to be very, very brave, or maybe very stupid to have a go as well. The thing with the Shell hairpin as well, Johan, is that the top line over time is going to get quite dusty. You're going to get marbles out there. You're going to get maybe a bit of dirt that's been dragged on if people have gone off, or people have sort of cut across the inside of the corner. So as the race runs on, we're going to see less and less overtaking through there, well, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's and as we just had the weather up there, it's extremely cool for a motor race. I mean, it is Britain, so it is going to be cold, but 19 degrees air temperature and 21 degrees Celsius road temperature. I mean, that's definitely going to take a while to get those tires up and to temperature. But qualifying almost over now, and we've got out in front Eatwell in first position, followed by Neidhart. That is Dennis Neidhart, and then Kieran Smart taking up third position, and the two Andreassens. Oh well, and Neidhart just jumping into pole at the last second with a 1:42.851. So interesting development right here at the end of qualifying.
Yeah, it was a heck of a lap from Dennis Neidhart. It was that purple. We went purple in the final two sectors. That made all the difference. 31 hundredths of a second clear of Eatwell at the moment, and it doesn't look like Eatwell's going to be able to respond to that. I mean, he's on a lap, but I don't think there's any personal best sections going in. So, well, Dennis Neidhart, fantastic for the .exe esports team. And yeah, he's going to be looking to get into Old Hall Corner first, that's for sure. But qualifying is over as it ends bang on the 15 minutes. And yeah, we're about ready to go down to the grid. And here it is, Dennis Neidhart on pole, ahead of Willie. Well, Kieran Smart in third, Dara Andreassens in fourth, ahead of Jensen Adriansens in fifth, Mark Hutchinson sixth, Darius Neidhart in seventh, ahead of the highest amateur, which is David Gill. Sergei Glaskov is ninth, ahead of Lemuel Moroni in 10th. Ian Manners 11th, and Stuart Wyness alongside him in 12th. 13th, Adam Coles, baby, in 13th, ahead of Mark Redford in 14th. Jake Ward 15th, 16th for Fabrizio Ruggeri, and Greg Hubler in 17th, the American. Victor Lewandowski is 18th, ahead of Scott Smith. Paolo Miniti 20th, and Paul Calishaw 21st. Bruno Belny in 22nd, ahead of Stefano Guiducci. Roberto De Filippis in 24th, 25th Adam Kindness, Jay Walsh 26th, then Paul Clist, Will Redford 28th, Igor Shirikov 29th. These are the guys who have penalties, as Johan was alluding to earlier on. Fedor Koman of the Netherlands in 30th, Matthew Briggs 31st, Andrea Romy 32nd, Dario Raffaetta 33rd, and on the back row is Jason Nedry and Alessio Gonelli.
It's going to be a very, very interesting start with everyone. There's quite a few cars starting from the pit. It's going to be busy on that pit lane exit, but I think Neidhart is going to be extremely happy where he is currently placed. Eatwell is going to be giving him a run for his money into the Old Hall Corner, into that right-hander. So we're just waiting for everyone to grid. And we should be ready.
Remember the Audi very fast starting as well.
Yeah, the Audi does have a lot of speed on the launch, but he is on the outside. So if he stuffs up this launch in any kind of way, Eatwell is going to be right there to pick up the pieces. And we have the lights up, ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are racing. So off with a pretty good start. That is a horrible start for Kieran Smart. He's falling down the order. Nothing too worrisome for Neidhart and Eatwell. And the middle of the pack just absolutely bunched up with that start from Kieran. You can just see lights flashing as all the drivers start falling into order. Already lots of places lost. And oh, that is a lot of cars and just some secondary collisions all the way. David Gill not in the place where he wanted to be. That is, I can't even keep up. That's
I think Coles is off. I think Gladkov might have been involved in that as well. Gill definitely. Yeah, we're going to have to get a replay of that. We'll do that in a moment or two. But great start for Dennis Neidhart. He used the traction that the Audi gave him off the line to great effect, and he's got a lead 0.8 of a second. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when somewhere like Oulton Park, where overtaking is tough, well, it's a great opening for him. Eatwell in second, Jensen Adriansens with a great start from 5th on the grid. He's already into 3rd, and we're getting Kieran Smart challenging Darius Neidhart up the hill.
Yeah, he's right on his rear end. There's nothing separating the two cars. And you can see Eatwell just under pressure from Andreassens as well. Smart furious about the start that he had, so he's trying to make up places. And the other Andreassens off the track, lots of drivers taking the off track there. And Kieran Smart up the inside gets the overtake on Neidhart, and he is going to move up.
Very nice, clean move there. We're going to get a replay of what happened down into Cascades for the first time. Oh, and Lewandowski was hit from behind. Well, that was actually the rear of the accident, so something else happened in front of them. Yeah, that was, and I do think Gladkov possibly might have been the first one who went off.
Yeah, there was some.
This is Guiducci. It's already kicked off. Look in front. Somebody's gone hard into the wall. Number 23. That was Sergei Glaskov then into the fence at probably well over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the kind of speed that you get from a shove. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was hammered, wasn't he? By, I'm not sure who. But I think that car's ended up in the gravel as well.
It's,
Whoever that was who was the offender, I think, has ended up going in with him.
absolute chaos at the start. Neidhart has a bit of space to save behind him. Eatwell currently under pressure from Andreessen, and that is keeping his attention away from Neidhart, from Dennis Neidhart. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make the gap at some point. But this fight is going to cost him. Behind them, Mark Hutchinson also looking for an opportunity, but he is going to be looking at Kieran Smart, Kieran Smart in his rearview mirror pretty soon. I think that was...
Smart made a very good move though into this very corner of the previous lap, and yeah, he looks like he's on the charge.
Yeah,
he goes off a bit.
Lodge corner is one of those corners where if you're very confident on the brakes, you can get an excellent move through there, because it's one of those corners where if you're just that little bit too late on the brakes, you're going to be flying off into the gravel trap.
We've seen it many times, haven't we? People overcooking it into there and not coming back particularly quickly. But here's Madridsons are on board with him. Eatwell in front. It's going to be tough to pass the Honda in a straight line as well. The famous the Honda Power. Of course, winning the Formula One World Championship with Honda Power this season as well. So you know how to make the engines. It took them a while, didn't it? But they managed it.
It's a bit dangerous talking about something that controversial. We might lose some viewers. But here we've got no F1 controversy. I'd rather not say on which side of that debate I'm on. But at the moment, Andreessen is definitely not a big supporter of Honda Power. He definitely wants to get past it. And as we go through Knickerbrook onto Clay Hill, and it is still neck and neck. Right there on the rear, he's got some very nice draft from Eatwell. Eatwell just hasn't had an answer for the pace for Jensen Andreessen's behind him.
He's got the pace, hasn't he? But he's going to have to maybe take a risk if he wants to take second place away from Eatwell. He's getting closer, especially in that middle sector, in the slower stuff. Seems to be where the Hyundai is maybe a little bit better balanced. But we're looking a bit lower down the top 10 at the AM category battle, actually. And this is Stuart Winers. He's in second place in his category for Track Scotland. He's behind Ian Manners. You can see Manners in the front of the shot, as well as Jake Ward comes into the pits for Omega Racing. He was lying just outside the top 10. He's going to drop down now. Any ideas on what that might be for?
Possible
Black
damage.
and orange flag, maybe?
Yeah. With that many collisions, they might have piled on the incidents. I'm not exactly sure. So it's going to be interesting. But Maroney here, kind of a train of 4 cars. And Collishaw is going to try and make the move into the corner. And he's on the inside. He's got the line. But now he's going to be on the outside for Charles Oil corner. And Maroney is just going to defend that easy peasy, lemon squeezy right through there. And now Collishaw...
Oh, off Bruno Belny. Belny's into the wall at Island Bend, and that's what you said about drivers. Oh, and the rear is broken. Yeah, he's going to have to retire the car, missing the rear wing, and it looked like the left rear tyre was not facing the way it was before. And let's see why that is, Johan.
So it might be that someone got late on the brakes. Oh, that's a shove.
Redford.
Now, yeah. Although I must say though, Belny kind of moved over in the braking zone there, so he really didn't give Redford much of an option. But he's going to be sitting in the pits. That's a broken axle. That rear wheel wasn't turned at all.
You kind of got to hold the middle there, haven't you? If there's a car so close to you, if you want to try and prevent the overtake, I think hold the middle of the track. Don't give them too many options. But you mentioned about going side by side through Island Bend needs a bit of needs some balls, and that they definitely displayed that there.
Speaking of balls, Shirokov almost making it 3 wide through the first corner, and they've
got to move around the outside as well. I was Hubler, I think, wasn't it, the American going around the outside?
Yeah, no, that was absolutely stellar, and just kind of keeping their nerve through there. Very, very good driving from all three drivers, I'd say. It's always tricky when you're that close together, that many cars, to really do it. But you can see here, ooh, and as Gudici runs wide, he was taking the middle line there, defending as we were saying, and he just got on the brakes a little bit too late to really make the corner on the inside.
Yeah, and you can see already, even after just 8 minutes of racing, you can see all the dirt and all the detritus sort of littering the circuit where people have gone off and come back on and deposited gravel, grass, dirt and other rubber and marbles onto the circuit. And caused him a few issues there, Guiducci. I thought at first it might have been intentional, but no, he went so wide. Yeah, it was not a profitable exercise for him, and Hubler, having got past these two, will now go off after, well, I say after Redford. I think he's going to have trouble getting past Redford. In fact, Redford is now right with Maroney and going past Maroney into Lodge Corner, Johan. And you said that he would have his, work cut out from the back, and but he's got potentially some frustration to take out, and he's doing it in a clean way so far at least.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't put the blame on his shoulders for that incident into Charles Oil Corner. I mean, if someone moves in front of you under braking, that's just nothing you can do. Shirikov here in a battle, he's on the outside, and he's going to get overtaken there by Maroney, and Maroney moving up in the standings, starting to find.
Yeah, it was Hubler going behind Shirikov again, so those two have swapped places once more.
Apologies.
It's all right. It's easy to lose track, isn't it, in these races when you've got 30 cars going for it full pelt for 25 minutes.
And Andreasen.
Yeah, sorry.
Andreasen's here with Neidhardt right on his behind. Just making the pass, and it's going to be a bit of a battle there for Neidhardt to reclaim that position. So we're going into Lodge Corner, and no sign of a move yet. And just sitting there on his rear. One of the cars off there. That's Kieran Smart off into the grass. So that's going to back him up into these two cars.
Has he got suspension damage? Was the car just?
He's just been pushing the car really hard.
I think he's fine. I don't think he's hit anything, but he's certainly. You can tell that thing is being pushed to its very limits. But it's down from where he started. Smart. You said he had a really terrible start. I was watching somewhere different on the grid, but yeah, Smart going backwards. Biggest mover so far is Will Redford, 16 positions up from where he started. Andrea Romy up 14, as is Jason Nethery, who we mentioned in the qualifying. So the race going a lot better for Nethery than the qualifying did.
Yeah, I must say someone that had a bit of a rough moment there. Hubler jumping to the pits, so he is out. Not exactly sure what happened there.
It's all gone to pot for Hubler, hasn't it? A couple of laps ago, he made that fantastic move around the outside of Old Hall. And now, is he going to do what you said? Too deep into Lodge Corner? Oh, well, he tried to punch it on the exit, didn't he? Tried to get too... Well, he's okay for now. He's got Guiducci behind him. Oh, he loses the rear end, and then it straightens on him. Bang into the wall. Left rear broken. And out of the race goes Greg Hubler, which is such a shame because was having a good run, Johan. He was looking solid out there, and off goes Cowlishaw. Big one through Druids. He manages to gather it all up and survive this time, but he's lost a place to kindness.
That just sounds so weird. And Cowlishaw still in trouble here. Maroney goes up the inside of and makes the pass. Cowlishaw looking for an answer, but definitely falling behind quite a bit. So Maroney moving up into 14th position. So just there, as we swapped over to them, the rear of that car is looking a bit worse for wear. So I think that's maybe from the start of the race.
Yeah, it looks like a good old punt, doesn't it? There is a car-shaped dent in that Audi, and he's losing straight line speed as a result. It looked like as well, because Cowlishaw just breezed past him, might even clear him before Island Bend. Yeah, he does as they turn in. Look at that dust on the circuit, and off goes Smith, possibly, is it, who's gone off there? Kindness off. Yeah, it was Adam Kindness going off, and again, you know, we sound like a broken record, but you mentioned Island Bend and Shell Corner as the some of the trickiest parts of the circuit. It's definitely showing that.
Yeah, but I'm still a bit confused with what happened with Maroney through Cascades, through that third corner, because it almost looked like a multi-class race at the speed that Collishaw was overtaking him. But here they're neck and neck as they go through Nickenbrook into Clay Hill, and
I can only imagine it's aero damage possibly, but
they just came off the back straight, so that's an area where Collishaw would have pulled an immense gap, and it's just not happened. So some strange driving happening here.
But look, it's looking fairly easy for Shirokov to draw alongside. So there must be some kind of issue with the straight line speed of the Audi, because through goes the Russian Shirokov. That's into 15th place for him.
Yeah, so very rough race for
again.
Yeah, something's not right with that car.
He's having to brake super late to even stay ahead of Matthew Briggs. This is a lapped driver in the Hyundai. He's ahead on the road of Mark Redford.
So 10 minutes left on the clock for the racing, and still quite a lot to happen. Night out in front. We haven't really focused on the leaders as much during the race, but he's pulled a 2.5 second gap on Eatwell. Eatwell still in a battle with Andreassens. So those two have just stuck together like glue through the entirety of this race. And
impressive though from Night Out. It really is. Like it takes a lot to sort of just build this lead metronomically. You can see that some laps he's gaining, some laps he's losing, but in general he can afford to do that with 2.4 seconds. He can afford to maybe just leave 1% or 2% on the table and save some for later, because let's not forget tyre wear is a big factor in these cars, especially over this 25-minute race where it's, you know, it's going to come into effect even more.
I do think he's managing that gap a little bit. Andreassen's looking to the inside, not seeing anything. And Eatwell is still able to keep a hold of that second position. No action needed from him. And I'm just seeing so many off tracks from drivers into Lodge Corner as they take that wide exit. But Eatwell here keeping ahead. He's got a 10th gap between himself and Andreasen.
Oh, look at this.
That has disappeared.
Oh.
Andreasen is piling on the pressure.
This is where mistakes can be made. We see right into the front grille of the Hyundai. Into Britain's. I don't think there's going to be a move into there unless he really sends it, because it is kind of one line through here. Brilliant camera shot there. Give that to Sam Kumo on that one. That looks fantastic. As Andreassen's right in the slipstream of Eatwell, but again, just nowhere to pass. Nowhere to pass if a mistake doesn't come from your opponent. And we're seeing that with these two very evenly matched.
Yeah, Eatwell being a very consistent driver, and Andreassen's doing extremely well to keep up with the pace of the Honda. I'm just going to quickly segue into one of our sponsors. So a massive thank you for SDK Gaming. That's the overlay that we're currently using. So they add a virtual live HUD to iRacing to show timing towers, enhanced relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculators and more. You can also stream to Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing and broadcast your league and series. SDK actually syncs your cameras between your broadcast. Ooh! Shirokov goes off. So yeah, SDK syncs your cameras. So we as commentators can actually focus on the action, and you can also use it to adjust your team's strategy on the fly with the most accurate timing on iRacing. Shirokov losing out quite a few positions, not allowing me to get through the sponsor message, so I apologize for interrupting myself there mid-sentence, but that's, again, through Lodge Corner, that's a very, very tricky corner for all of these drivers, especially if you're trying to pile on the pressure and overtake someone.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see on the SDK Gaming overlay there just how close Kalishaw and Shirokov actually are to each other. You can see on the screen, can't you? But in time, quarter of a second is all it is. And yeah, we've got all sorts of tools available. We can see the gaps between the cars over the last few laps and everything. We're seeing a replay. This is Fedo Komen, and he's just parking up and retiring the car. It looks like as the car in the pits in the background could have actually been Glazkov trying to get back in the race or something, and maybe having another issue. I'm not sure. Oh, Hubler having another go in the race. Then that was. As look at this now, Kindness, Kalishaw, Shirokov, nose to tail, and this could be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. I do have a line that I've been hoping for this entire series, but I'll keep that to myself until it happens.
I think I've got an idea for some reason.
I think our viewers do as well. So Kalishaw really piling on. Ooh, there is a shunt. So Shirokov just letting Kalishaw know he's part of this party as well. And it's a three-man game down the main straight. Oh, and this is going to get spicy. Shirokov looking to the inside. Is he going to go for the move on the Kalishaw? Doesn't have the gas, enough gas for it, but it's still going to be the battle into the second corner.
So I have raced with a few of these Russian drivers before, and they're not afraid to go for it. I tell you, they will put immense pressure on you, try and force you into a mistake. And Shirokov is quite experienced now in these cars, but can he force a mistake off of Kalishaw? Kindness taking a slightly deeper line into the hairpin, gets a better exit out, and with the straight line speed of the Honda, as we mentioned earlier, that can be quite useful. Let's see though. Let's see if Kalishaw can get close into Hislop chicane. He's right in the slipstream, Johan. This is going to be tight. He might try and go side by side. I think it'd be a bit silly because, again, those tyre stacks will not move for no man, as they say.
Yeah, that's definitely definitely interesting. As there's another shunt from Shirokov. I must say that it's good that this is a virtual event. Otherwise, social distancing will definitely be a problem. And out to the inside goes Kalishaw. Smart taking the inside line. Is he going to be able to defend? Switch back, a little bit of contact. Kalishaw backs out and regains control of his car.
Let's see if Shirokov can get up the inside here. He's late on the brakes. They're both late on the brakes. Shirokov is sliding the car. The back steps out slightly, but he manages to emerge exactly level with Kalishaw. Then over the start-finish line they go. And Kalishaw's trying to gain a bit of space. He's trying to maybe just nudge Shirokov towards the pit wall to try and narrow his angle. Shirokov goes in deep. They come out side by side. They're rubbing door handles. The mirrors probably touching. The wheel arches certainly were, Johan. And they go down cascades and it's still not over.
Yeah, so Kalishaw now out ahead of Shirokov. And this was shame. Shirokov really went for it there. I think Smith at the moment.
They're in contact for second place. Eat well, and Adrianson's. He tried to go through. I don't know on the outside, and it was contact. Did Eat well move across? Did Adrianson's miss his braking point? Well, who knows? We only saw the very end of it, but Johan is massive for the race, that one.
And definitely. So getting the replay now, and you can just see right there on the rear of Eatwell as Andreasen takes the outside line. Eatwell defending, and he just tries to squeeze him a bit too far, and unfortunately both drivers running out of road. I must say though, huge respect for both drivers there. So Andreessen's giving the position back at the moment, but
Eatwell in the pits.
that is Eatwell into the pits. So
It'll be a broken car.
potential damage to that car. That is going to promote Andreessen's into second, Hutchinson into third, and Kieran Smart into fourth.
Now,
So
I will say, I've not watched any of these races this season. I don't have a particular horse in the race, as it were. But when you do brake, when you hit the brakes in these front-wheel drive cars, rear moves around so much that it's very, very possible to drift across, especially if you're trying to brake in a straight line and you get a bit of a wiggle on. I'm going to say that was probably a racing incident, because I very much doubt Eatwell would have intentionally ran Andreessen off. But again, that'll be one for the stewards to take a look at. But it does, like I say, it's very difficult to brake, especially when you're right next to another car, Johan. It's almost impossible to keep exactly in a straight line. That's why you maybe should give a bit more room. That might be the thing that ends up being mentioned, because it's not necessarily the act of braking there, but it might be just, look guys, you know, give an extra few inches just to make sure that there isn't any incidental contact.
Yeah, it's always tricky, especially if you're not fortunate enough to have triple screens or a VR headset. If you just have a single screen, you're not going to see that car next to you, and that's exactly how those things happen. And you have a radar, but it's still, you can't gauge the distance between, so it's always tricky.
Not Pirikov having another go. Look, I completely agree with your point there. It's very difficult to always navigate your way through. Not quite sure about what sort of setups those particular drivers have got, but it's definitely a possibility. As through Druids, Romy, you can see in the background in the Audi, he's got past Cowlishaw, so Cowlishaw not having a great couple of laps. He's dropped off this battle for 13th, and now behind the Italian. And the checkered flag. Checkered flag is on white flag. That's it. White flag is out.
Yeah, so right at the end of the race, this is going to be a very important moment there for Kindness. Shirokov is trying to get the jump on him. Unfortunately, doesn't have the speed just yet, but there is a potential to pull alongside through Lakeside as they go charging down towards Highland Bend. You can see Shirokov just poking in those on the inside, trying to see if there's a possibility. Kindness has no opportunity for a mistake there, and there's a little bit of contact. I must say the netcode has been kind with us this evening, although I do apologize if something does happen after this. Was a dangerous thing to say, but
Einhardt's approaching the final corner, Johan. Sorry, but here he comes. Look, he's weaving around. He knows he's going to take the win.
It's a bit of a dangerous thing to do right at the end, but Neidhart with a 7-second gap. That is just absolutely amazing. Stellar performance from him, from the German. I think that's a German flag. Yeah, from the German driver. Andreessen is going to come across the line in second, and then Hutchinson third, Smart fourth, Andreessen fifth.
Andreessen looked like his car was still in decent shape come the end then, so not really any damage sustained, as Hutchison gets a little bit of the bubbly in third, from sixth on the grid. Kieran Smart in fourth, and Dara Andreessen, who started in fourth place, got a bad start, but managed to work his way back up to P5 ahead of Darius Neidhart. So if your name's Neidhart or Andreessen, well, it's been a good race for you, really.
Yeah, it's winners, of course, taking the win in the AM category. Superb drive from him, so he's not really had his opponent Maroney to deal with, but there's a bit of a shake-up in the order. So we see Will Redford in 7th, so tough race for him, but now with the reverse grid, it's going to put a lot of drivers in some interesting positions. One thing that I wanted to note that I was looking at just as the race ended, so we've got a 20x incident count, so if people were coming in for penalties, they really had an interesting eventful race, but there's also a fast repair, so that's what some of the drivers were coming in for, just getting their car tuned up and fixed up for the last few laps.
That's definitely what Eatwell was doing when he came in, so he may not have been able to make it to the end, but he guaranteed the points there, and that's the way to do it in the championship. We've seen many times over the years. You know, you cannot have a DNF. You have to make sure you bank those points, and that is exactly what he did.
Definitely agree. So looking at our race 1 results, so Dennis Neidhart absolutely smashing it in first position, Jensen Andreasen in second, Mark Hutchinson in in third, Kieran Smart well fought for fourth, Derek Andreasen in fifth, Darius Neidhart in sixth, Will Redford fighting all the way to 7th position, so that's a superb finish for him. Stuart Winners taking the AM win in 8th, Ian Manners in 9th, second place for the AM category. Will Eatwell, unfortunately, after that damage to his car, in 10th position. And behind him, we've got Ruggieri, Smith, Kindness, Shirokov, Romy, Colishaw, Maroney, Gudici, D. Philippes in 19th, Rafatea 20th, Nethery, Walsh, Ward, Maniti, Klist, Canelli, Glashkov, Gill, Mark Redford in 29th, Matthew Briggs in 30th, Lewandowski in 31, Kuman, Hubler, Belny, and Adam Coles rounding out the field. So a very tough race for some of them. Some drivers unfortunately dropping out in that first lap and having to go in for those fast repairs. I must say it's going to be one very exciting start for that second race.
And that's, you know, upon us very soon. We've just got about 3 minutes until the green light comes on here for the second time. And we're going to go for a short break here then on Apex Racing TV, but we'll be back after just a couple of short minutes with more from the Apex Racing League Touring Car Britain.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the drivers are just finishing off their warm-up for the second race. It's going to be quite the spectacle with the reverse grid. I'm just going to quickly take the quiet moment to thank one of our sponsors, Apex Racing Academy. So they've got 29 data packs, setups for the cars, track guides, and of course integration with VRS. They've also got weekly group coaching sessions, which is extremely useful. And they have some extras, so do check them out if you are interested. We are just about finishing up with warm-up, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Andrew, what do you think?
Mate, it could be, anything could happen here, and we're going to see 3 out of the 4 drivers on the front 2 rows of the AM category. Scott Smith, Fabrizio Righieri, Will Eatwell in 3rd. He's going to be hoping to grab a few points here. Ian Manners in 4th, Stuart Wynest in 5th. Then Will Redford, Darius Neidhart, Dara Andreassens, Kieran Smart in 9th, and Mark Hutchison in 10th. But to your point, the reverse grid, the rest of it's going to cycle through on the screen in front of us there. But I'm expecting excitement. We had it in the first race. We had that incident on the first lap. So, yeah, let's see how we get on.
I think for some of the drivers that's going to be very fresh in their memory, so they might be a bit cautious. But some of the drivers like Eatwell and Andreasen, they are going to be blissfully unaware of what had happened, and they're going to be charging.
Couple of drivers not on the grid yet. Sorry, Johan. Will Redford, Andrea Romy not showing up on the grid, and it's too late for them now because here come the lights. 5 of them, red ones. Lights are off and the race is on at Oulton Park. It's a great start by Smith. It's a good start by Ruggieri in the Audi as well. Eatwell challenging them into Old Hall, Johan.
Yeah, that's absolute screamer of a start there for Ruggieri. Unfortunately, overtaken by Eatwell there. And the drivers are piling through. This is where the danger happened. We're going to keep an eye if there's any kind of barging happening. All of the drivers keeping it nice and safe. Maroney in 5th, clean Glashkov clean through there as well. And they're bunching up for the hairpin, so this is going to get interesting. Manners trying to keep his nose clean, and
here we go. He's not going to be able to stop. Look out! Bang!
And that is, I think someone might have been killed by Kindness.
Kindness, his wheel's gone, and he's going to block the track because he's had to stop on the circuit.
That is a lot of cars off on the track. We're definitely going to see a replay from there. And
List is off as well, but somebody had crashed, Johan, in front of that as well.
Yeah, so there.
Manners is off. Look, there he goes.
There's a shove. Kindness was. I said someone's killed by Kindness. I do apologize. That was not the case. Kindness of being completely innocent in the whole moment. There some drivers taking the rallycross line.
I think Hubler and Redford possibly there, but I think we saw Neidhart. Which one? I think Dennis Neidhart got into 33, which is Mark Hutchinson, I believe, and I think that's what caused it.
Yeah.
Well, what caused the rest of it? But we said, didn't we? What did we say earlier on at the start of the show? Or even before the show started, if someone loses it through Island Bend, if they go off on the right-hand side, then everybody just needs to close the ride, I think, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments, and I think that is...
Oh, two of them off onto the grass. And
that was
Jensen Andreasen's... Oh, dear.
Lots of things happening. We're not going to be able to keep up. I actually wanted to mention at the start of the lap, Eatwell taking the lead, overtaking Smith. Andreasen here with Smart behind him under pressure after both of them going off. I think it was both of them going off because Smart would definitely not be on his rear after that. And I definitely saw Smart into the grass.
How many times as well, though, if you're following a car, do you follow them if they go off? So common.
I definitely agree. So Smith fighting out in the second position, and a pile of cars coming through behind. And Andreasen's here just barely keeping ahead there. Both Indy Autosport red cars. So It's Andreessen and Andreessen neck and neck. Maroney overtaking Go. I think there was an overtake on Collateral. So moving into 11th position. Collateral trying to find.
Oh, he's wide. He's wide. Through Druids, he loses the position, and then Adriansen's, the two of them going side by side, and Jensen comes out ahead of Dara, and Kieran Smart's now in the middle.
He was facing the wall of Andreessen's, and now he's going to look to not get walled off. On the inside, does he have the speed? He pushes Andreessen wide, and they do survive. He's going to back off, fall in line. This is
that an off track out there? Is that an off track out there, by the way? Old hole?
There is some of the grasscrete where you've got the concrete with the grass growing in between. It does offer a little bit of grip. I think it counts as a curb, but
right. That was very wide by a couple of them there.
I think if you dip the wheel into the grass, that's where the off track actually lies.
The grass itself. Fair enough. Kieran Smart then. Now we're looking at his viewpoint. You can see the brake lights glinting through the dust as Adriansen's. Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the wall, Adriansen's. Can he get it stopped? He's in the middle of the course.
Oh, and Maroney just going off track to avoid him.
Somebody did. He did flip one driver though, and I think, and that looks like Maroney might be in a bit of trouble. But I wonder what happened with Neidhart there. I wonder how he ended up going off like that. So we'll get the replay shortly, but wow.
If he dipped the wheel into the grass, it happened so quickly. I was looking down on my timing screen.
Oh, did he hit the tyre stack, did he?
So looking at this.
Oh, the front right's gone down, look.
It's interesting because the rest of the car didn't really show many signs of contact, but I was looking at the replay.
Front right. Look, have a look at the front right tyre. He might have been there. He's just a puncture, I think. I think it's just a puncture. He doesn't hit the tyre wall or anything. Wow.
I was looking at it from Smart's view, and it was just looking a bit too close to the barriers to be true. Maroney and Maniti, both cars here close together, going towards Island Bend, and looking rather. I'd say the Maniti's car is looking a bit worse for wear. You can see that wing mirror just flapping in the wind. Trying to take the
extra drag maybe, but he's not as bad as what his car was in the first race, so that's for sure.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Skippy races where people would purposefully drive off the wings to get a bit of reduced drag. Gary here with a train of cars behind him, winners, Andreessen's and Smart. So this is going to get a bit rough for him. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. Oh, sorry, we lost the one Andreessen's, of course, through the chicane. But Winners is holding up the pro drivers behind him, so it's going to be pressure piling onto the AM driver right now.
Ruggieri and Am as well, just in front of him, so they're see how high up they can get, and he's having to defend hard now. He's Wyness from Jensen Adriansen, who's flashing the lights at him. He wasn't happy with that move, but he's been right to do so. Oh, very wide through the first corner goes Adriansen, to the Belgian. He doesn't appear to be through. Oh, and he's going to try for Ruggieri as well. 2-for-1 special there for Adriansen. And Smart going through as well, Johan.
Yeah, so I think the pro drivers kind of telling this is going to be dangerous.
Oh, contact in the middle of Island Bend. No thanks.
And right there on the rear, so Winners in close quarters. I think that was Ruggieri behind him in some very dicey situations as we go through the chicane here, and fortunately surviving the tyre barrier. But I think that was a moment where Andreessen and Smart was telling the AM drivers, listen, this is not your fight. This is not the category that you're fighting for, and that you're holding us up.
Contact there.
And
That's
there's
Chirikov.
contact.
Shirikov into the back of Ruggeri. Ruggeri goes around. Oh, barely rejoins safely. Where's he going?
I think he might be developing a new rallycross track.
Going there, need to get that handbrake going, I think. He's missed the wall. Dear. But I tell you what, he was it was a bit late in the day, wasn't it, from Shirikov, and not particularly well judged, I'll be honest. But I think when you to your point of the AM drivers getting out of the way, I've been an AM driver in this series, and you either have to get out of the way or you get moved out of the way, shall we put it. So I think they made the sensible decision that time. Oh, wide goes Nedry and Neidhart, Dennis Neidhart then, having recovered from the shenanigans at the Shell Oil Bend, moves up into 17th place this time.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a recovery drive for him, but I think Oulton has definitely delivered on the promise of some classic touring car racing. Lots of contact here, but the one question I actually have for you is just for you, Andrew, is as Gil and Glaskov neck and neck into the hairpin. Gil on the inside, unfortunately loses out a little bit of speed. They're still side by side. This is going to go into the chicane.
I don't like this side by side into Britons. Let's say they're not going to give up either. Glaskov actually does yield, and he's gone wide as Gil. He's gone too deep, so Glaskov's going to get a great run up and over the hill. Is it a long enough straight for him to maybe draw alongside? I don't think so. Gil's defending fresh air there. Doesn't really have to defend it that time, but does anyway. Keeps the place well in the end.
Yeah, and they've got Neidhart kind of looming in the background as well. But the question I have for you, Andrew, is just as they're not going to give me a chance. Smart trying to make a move here on Smith. Is he going to get an opportunity? So into the last corner onto the main straight, and he's close enough, but not quite. So doesn't make the move into the first corner, but right on the rear there of Smith's car.
Pointed if this isn't a good question now, by the way.
It's not important enough to interrupt the action on the screen, but it looks a bit more quiet now, so I'm going to quickly ask, as an AM driver, are you obliged to get out of the way, or is it the smart thing to get out of the way, or is it just, do you fight for it?
Depends who's behind you. Honestly, that's how I judge it. I just judge it on who's behind me, whether they're enough of a maniac to try and knock me out of the race, I think, when they're trying to come past. Oh, side by side there, wheel banging into the chicane. They are going to try going through side by side, and that is a good move by Kieran Smart, and he blocked him off nicely at the apex, and Smith had to yield, and now Wyners is getting involved in this as well, and he's on the inside into his slop, gets it done. Nice job, and that's good team driving there by the Track Scotland cars.
Definitely agree. That's Smith losing out quite a lot there. That's but that's happening just as we had our discussion about the AM and the pro drivers.
I think there was say the honest, serious answer. There were some drivers who would never be able to get past you without hitting you. They just seemed incapable of it. And then some of them, you knew who you could give, they would give you space, that if they would overtake you cleanly, and they're the ones who you have respect for, and at the end of the day, the others are the ones that you, shall we say, might not be too bothered if there's a bit of contact between you after a while. Because if they're trying to come past, if they try and pass you, say 4 or 5 times in a season, and they hit you 4 or 5 times, then the 6th time, you're not going to get out of the way. That's how I see it anyway.
That's also true, but if you were Scott Smith, would you go toe-to-toe, side-by-side with Kieran Smith into that chicane?
No. Well, maybe, because I'm an idiot. But saying that, no, he's fighting for a championship. I've never, I've only ever really been in one championship battle, and I was kind of taken out of that by people sort of crashing into me, sort of you know, through errors and things. But I think you've got to try and get the points when on the board. Like I said, DNFs in this series in the ARLTC, absolutely, you know, devastating to your championship hopes at any time. DNFs in other series, you know, if you DNF in Formula 1 or Formula E or, you know, even the World Rally Championship, something like that, it's not quite as severe, simply because in the ARLTC, points go all the way down through the race finishes. So even if you finish last, you'll still get some points, and that's so important. But you have to finish.
Yeah, if you want to finish first you have to finish. And Shirikov putting the pressure here on Smith. Smith granting him the position, not really defending much. Kind of, I'd say, early on the brakes, just to give him a bit of space to move on through. Maybe learning his lesson from what happened into the chicane. Neidhart on the find back, still in 17th position, so unfortunately not really able to move past this train of cars. De Felipe's looking for opportunity on the inside, not going to find it. So, sorry, apologies.
Oh
Gil,
wow! Look at Glaskov, making it 3
wide.
wide. Oh no! Here we go. Huge crash.
That is Gil, Neidhart, Glaskov. I think that was Neidhart involved there. No, he's gone on through. He's survived.
De Felipe is off. He's in the grass. He's trying to get going again. He might have largely got away with that, I think. Yeah. No. Maybe. I don't know. His car doesn't look too bad, but you never know whether the suspension damage. We're going to get a look at what happened here. We're on board with Glaskov. He's going to get a fantastic run, Johan, through Old Hall Corner, and that's where it's going to start.
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep my eye on Gil there. So 3 wide, Gil on the outside. Glaskov. Ooh.
I think I know what happened. I think De Felippis has seen Glaskov on his outside, and this happens to everybody. And I'm not going to say panicked, but has probably gone, right, I need to give a bit more space on the left. And so he's moved slightly over to the right. Maybe didn't realise he was clear. Maybe didn't even get a call that he was not clear on that side. And yeah, again, racing incident has to be. I mean,
yeah, I definitely agree.
Is that two? It's almost 2 moves from Ward there, but you've got to be careful with that. You've got to defend, I think, decisively if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Ward getting the overtake in the last corner, into a large corner, and trying to stay ahead of Smith, but Smith just staying on his rear there. I wanted to mention earlier, Gil just absolutely pelted the wall, so yeah, he just got shot through there. So that's definitely going to be his car into the shop with for a complete rebuild.
Now, just for the clarification, I believe they can tow back to the pits as there is a fast repair. Depending on how long the tow takes, if they get back out, they still might be able to score points, but you have to be no more than 1 lap down in order to score a point in this series. So if you bear in mind 1 minute 45 or so for a lap, probably about 3 minutes for a tow, you could get back out there, but chances are there's no point, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that was right.
If you have to tow back, that is, sorry. You can drive back, obviously, and you'd be fine.
So on screen right now, we've got Neidhart stuck behind Collishaw and Maniti, and the 3 cars just absolutely neck and neck. Neidhart not really finding a space here, but he's right on the rear of Collishaw. They're getting a very nice tow, moving towards, trying to get the outside. It's not going to get the space, and it's so tricky to safely find an overtake here. Goes for a bit of a switchback, doesn't have the speed, so he's going to have to look. He just eyes up the inside, a little bit to pressure these AM drivers. Collishaw and Maniti keeping it nice and clean and consistent.
Everything looks very calm and composed when we're on board with Dennis Neidhart. It really does, and he's not pushing the car too much. He's not stressing the tyres to any sort of great deal, and he knows he's quicker than these two. Just needs to pick a spot and maybe wait for a slight error, because Neidhart very strong driver, 2 AM drivers in front of him. Not saying that the AM drivers, you know, haven't got talent, because they definitely have. But Neidhart looks comfortable here, and Caldeshaw and Miniti, anything but comfortable, I reckon. Johan, as they side by side through Island Bend again, the favoured trouble spots. Gravel gets kicked up and pelts the windscreen of the German Dennis Neidhart.
I must say, if I was Neidhart, ooh, and Neidhart almost getting pushed wide there.
He's trying to get around the outside, isn't he? But just can't get the overlap. But look how much time he's lost on Caldeshaw just in that one corner, over a second.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely fuming about that. You can see he's flashing his lights. And I must say, if I was him going through Island Bend, I would be very alarmed with the 2 wide situation there. But he's trying to get past Miniti. He's being held up quite a bit here.
Hey, he can flash his lights all he wants. Miniti hasn't done anything wrong. Just trying to keep hold of his place. Why not? And Neidhart's going to have to find a clean move here if he's going to get through Druids. It's difficult to go through on the outside at Druids because, again, it's very much one line. The outside gets very dirty. We saw, didn't we, in the first race? Drivers going off there and losing their challenge.
I feel a massive lunge coming from Neidhart here. And it's actually Miniti backing out or just being a bit earlier on the brakes. It's so difficult to tell with these drivers.
Good move, though, by Neidhart, regardless. Clean move.
Definitely agree.
I will point one thing out. It's a bit of a visual thing, but the iRacing, the job that iRacing have done with the day-night lighting and the, you know, all the lighting effects, especially over the last few months or so, just tremendous. Look at this evening sunlight and the way it reflects off of the chrome parts of the liveries and the way that the lights kind of glow through the dust. It's fantastic.
I think someone that's really enjoying that picturesque image in front of him is going to be Will Eatwell. 5.5 seconds ahead of Darius Neidhart. I think he is just cruising at the moment. And it's definitely a spot that he's quite familiar with. We've seen him dominating the first position before. But he's just kind of checked out a little bit. The front of the race hasn't been as exciting as the middle of the pack, and
but obviously because he had to tow back to the pits. I mean, we would have seen him starting from what, 8th, 9th place, but he was given the higher starting position, I suppose, by that accident he had. Obviously, he lost points due to it, but that's Jason Nethery going through the rearranging the codes. But yeah, Eatwell, you know, if you can say he made the best out of a bad situation, and you know, a little bit of luck, and he's gonna most likely take this win. But yeah, nice job from him. And he's very rarely not on the podium in this series at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been a force to be reckoned with. Darius Neidhart here looking for a finish in second. Few minutes left of the race, so that's just 3.5 minutes if my mathematics is correct. Andreasen's here in third, and that looks like Kindness that he's going to be lapping there. So unfortunately, Kindness losing out in that hairpin incident. And the front runners spread out a fair bit, so not too much of a worry. You can see Smart in 4th position. They're just cresting the hill. So not as interesting as in the front. I think it's just the big thing was surviving that first lap and getting into a solid position for the front.
Yeah, a lot of drivers fell foul of that, didn't they? And we see it time and time again. Touring car racing, you know, it's not as straightforward as what people think. And Adrianson's trying to make his way through traffic here and doing that reasonably well. Without holding himself up too much. Smart 2.5 seconds behind. You can see him in the background there. But Bruno Belney's looking to try and make a move on Jay Walsh. Belney, who was in the fence, wasn't he? In the start of this race, he was in the fence actually. He's done a decent job to recover. He's side by side up the hill then. He's got good straight line speed. Although the Honda's top end there, seemed like the acceleration was maybe slightly better for the Hyundai Johan, but the top speed definitely favoured the Civic.
Yeah, the top speed does favour the Civic, but the handling definitely goes into the Hyundai's favour. So, of course, the exit is going to be a big factor, and that is Belny up the inside, getting the. Belny getting ahead of Walsh. So that was a bit of a mistake from him there.
Yeah, went in a bit too deep. Rear got slightly away, and this is Cowlishaw. And Neidhart going through on him. So that's for 12th position for Dennis. Darius is up in 2nd position at the moment. Adam Cole's up 18 places from where he started in his Hyundai. Belny up 16, as is Ward. So Ward having a great day. Jake Ward for the Omega Racing team. Well, in this race anyway. Started in 23rd.
And 1 minute left on the clock, so lots of drivers going to get a move on for the end of this race. And yeah, absolute stellar drive from Ward there.
Well, there's the white flag, ladies and gentlemen, the white flag.
And Eatwell is going to take that white flag and set us up for the last lap. But yeah, absolutely stellar racing there from Ward. 16 positions, as you said, just absolutely amazing.
Do you reckon he's got it in him to make a move on this last lap on Stuart Winers?
I would not take it from him. He definitely has the talent for it. But I wonder, do you want to preserve your drive or risk that position? So Winners, of course, has everything to do. So if it's going to be an interesting thing that goes through his head right now, because do you let this other driver pass, or do you try and take the position? Because he's currently in the front for the AM category, so you do not want to get involved with a crash.
In last lap, you've got to try and give it everything to defend, haven't you? Maybe not everything. Maybe, you know, it's one of them that maybe if he does get a very, very good run, maybe you let him go. But don't just give him it. That's what I would say. Don't do anything stupid is probably the phrase. But these are racing drivers we're talking about. But will eat well. He's not done anything stupid, has he? He's going to come through and he's going to be top step of the podium, no doubt.
Yeah, so that is Lodge Corner, the only main obstacle, and he's done that in a very calm fashion. Flashes of light in celebration, so that is going to be the win for Eatwell from 0 to hero. And Neidhart is going to come into 2nd position, followed
great
by
podium for him.
Graysons, Smart, Turikov, Winners. First of the AM category, everyone flashing their lights in celebration. Very happy with that. Win Ward is going to take the 7th position. Scott Smith in 8th after a bit of a rough race.
There's Gladkov and Maniti to the line. It's going to be Maniti who takes it. You mentioned Maroney in the first race, and maybe not a great time for him there, but 9th in this one, 3rd of the AM category. That's much better.
Yeah, I think it might just not be a track that agrees with him. We all have that track where we just don't perform as well. Walsh with De Filippis right on his rear there, and Koeman as they come across the finish line. Nethery, 21st.
I was going to say, have you got one that you don't like? Is there one that you struggle at?
I am absolutely horrible at Long Beach. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen one of the drivers take the ramp. I don't know if some of you are aware of the ramp that sits just off Cascades in the 3rd turn, but if you're ever in the simulator, just go wide out of Cascades, and just a wonderful display here from Vasila.
Over to the right-hand side, I see it, yeah.
That is just absolutely beautiful.
Up there.
Formation driving, and I think... I'm not exactly sure which driver that is behind them.
Get out the way, I'm off to the pits.
So let's see if we
Bloody posers. That's what he's saying.
No interviews just yet, so the driver's still on.
Oh, there it is. There we go. Well,
with that, we are
bad.
into the results. So, first position, Will Eatwell, almost 6 seconds ahead. Second position, Darius Neidhart. He's going to be very happy with that. Then Jensen Andreasen's into third. Kieran Smart, fourth position. Igor Shirokov, fifth. Stuart Winners, first in the AM category, taking that sixth position. Able to defend from Jake Ward in that last lap. Jake behind him. Scott Smith taking eighth. Lemuel Maroney in ninth, so that's third for the AM category. So he's going to get some points from that. And then Mark Hutchinson in 10th. The rest of them, Rafatea, Dennis Neidhart, Maniti, Glaskov, Koloshaw, Ruggieri, Coles, Walsh, De Filipes. 20th position is Kuman, then Nethery, Belny, Manners, unfortunately with that incident in the hairpin, and then Lewandowski, Klist, Kudici, Kindness, also a bit of a rough race for him, Briggs, Canelli, Gill, who unfortunately created a crater in the tyre barriers, not to his fault, and then Andreasen's, Romy Hubler, Will Redford, and Mark Redford. I completely missed Will going into the pits.
I think he was
Fortunate
involved.
one for him.
He must have been involved in that first lap nonsense. I can only imagine. I think he was in that. We may be able to figure that out here. Actually, let's see if. Here we go. That's Mark Redford. Will Redford. Oh. Did he not take the start? I don't think he took the start, did he?
Yeah, he was one of the drivers that didn't take the start. So I think.
Maybe, oh no, he had a pit lane start, didn't he? I think he had a pit lane start for races 1 and 2. There he is. Look, he's coming out of the pits.
That's correct.
Does he just pile into the scene? I wonder of the accident when he gets around the corner. I wonder if that's what
that will most possibly be the case. We do have an interviewee, so we'll just keep an eye on what's happening on the screen at the moment. See what happened to Will Redford there, because that is a bit of a rough one for one of the dominant drivers in the series. And in the meantime, I'll pull in Stuart. So, massive congratulations to Stuart, and welcome. We're just also taking a quick moment looking at the start, and boy, just absolute chaos. Just run us through your experience of that second race, first lap start into that hairpin.
Good evening, guys. I think I kind of stayed away from the madness because I was near the front, so it kind of helped because I didn't see anything. I was quite happy just to, I'll just stay here.
And then I must say, first in the AM category, you're probably very happy with that. But that last lap with Jake Ward looked a bit hairy, defending quite well from him. Were you thinking about the risk of a potential crash, or were you just driving for all the best of your ability?
It's what I should have really done maybe last weekend and not kill with the couple of wins, but I'm glad to get it done this week. And I seen him coming, he was getting closer and closer, and I thought, right, well, I defend it on the last lap, and I was like, I've just got to try and make the car as wide as possible, and Jake's quite a good driver, so he didn't get near me.
Yeah, that's definitely some respectful driving between all of the drivers there, so awesome stuff there. And then looking at your prospects for the rest of the series, any special preparation that you're doing, or?
Just more practice and more practice. I think it's the way of doing it.
But definitely, best of luck for you for the next one. Any shout-outs from your side, people that supported you, family watching, that you want to say thanks to?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Adam Grant, he should be watching us, and then also the rest of Team Scotland. I think we did quite well tonight.
Awesome stuff. That is our race winner from the AM category, Stuart Winners. So absolutely stellar stuff there.
Cheers, bye.
Very strong
And
performance, really, Johan. You know, he did everything he needed to do, stayed away from the chaos, as he said, and brought home P6.
Yeah, I mean P6 for an AM driver in this chaotic race, it's
Fantastic.
yeah. The thing that actually boggles my mind is just how he's held onto the front, because he started in P5 and ending up in P6. He's going to be over the roof with
You can see, you know, we've had the slow motion couple of laps on while he's been talking. To that group, he had a couple of slightly slower drivers than him in front of him, which could sort of pull him along a bit as well. And then just staying out of trouble. It's very easy to get a good result in this series if you stay out of trouble, and that is exactly what he did. But he showed the pace too to go with it.
Definitely agree. We do have one more interview for us here. So we've got, I think it's Jensen Andresen. Unfortunately, his tag is not.
I believe it is.
Yeah. Andrew, why don't you take us away?
I shall. Jensen, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a chat in the commentary box, but a third place. Got a bit of the bubbly there, mate. You know, a good run from 11th on the grid.
Yeah, it was finally a good result. It's been a while since since I had two strong races. In Knockhill I had one, and then I had some bad luck. So this time, happy to be on the podium two times.
Yeah, and both your cars in the top 6 in the first race, and this time just yourself. But how did you find it around this Oulton Park circuit? Because we were talking earlier on about how overtaking would be difficult, and but also mistakes would be very easy to come by. So how did you manage it today?
Yeah, I tried to be careful, but like you said, it was super difficult to overtake. So was mostly just staying behind the other guys, waiting to make a mistake. And when there was a mistake, I tried to bounce and get the positions, because it was the only way to get by.
So a couple of fairly sizable crashes. We know that can definitely go down in TCR. But how important is it for you to just be finishing all these races and just racking up these points?
Yeah, I think it's the most important part of the league, because yeah, every time you crash out and you get outside of the top 10, you just lose a massive amount of points. So it's better to be more careful and finish like P5 or something, than try everything for a podium and crash out, I think.
This series was once won by a driver who took one win all season, because consistency was paramount, and so you know you're on the right track there. I'm not actually sure, Johan, actually where we are next week, but I was going to ask about next week's circuit, but I don't know where it is.
Knockhill.
Oh, Knockhill again. Is that the forward layout this time?
Yeah, it's the normal layout, I think.
So how do you feel
sadly,
about that?
Sadly, I'm going skiing next week, so I won't be able to make it.
There you go. You can probably go skiing in Knockhill. Actually, it's probably cold enough. But yeah, we'll leave it at that then. But do you want to give any shout-outs to anybody watching, or any team members, friends, family?
Yeah, shout out to the entire Inti Autosport team for practicing together and having fun together. So that's what makes it fun.
That's what it's all about, mate. Thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box, and yeah, we'll hope to see you back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. See you back.
There you are. Yeah, Johan Jensen there, who, you know, again, consistency is key. We say it all the time. It is boring. It is a broken record, but it's definitely not boring if you're racking up those points, mate.
It's the only way I can win races.
Same.
But
same.
yeah, so next week on the 3rd of February, we actually, I think we might have gotten a few things mixed up. We're visiting Snetterton, the 300 layout. Is one of the that is one of the tracks
Good
that's
one.
definitely not on the favorites for most drivers. I like it, but some other drivers definitely dislike it. And then after that, we're moving on to the Knockhill International layout on the 10th of February. So it's going to be...
The classic Snetterton layout was such a classic. Was such a sort of, inbuilt into people's memories that I think the new circuit, it's just not as familiar, is it? I think it's a good circuit, actually. I think some very good corners on it, and designed partly for touring car racing as well. So, hopefully that'll be good. But yeah, the Knockhill one then after that, is it?
Yeah, and they're racing it the right way around this time, and the international as well. So they should have that iconic corner included, the sharp hairpin.
So Jensen was right, really. That's his next race. It's not their next race, but it's definitely his. If he's off next week.
Yeah, that's it's the one that he had in mind. So if you've been following us on YouTube, you'll see that we have a few other races lined up for the week. So next up, tomorrow evening, we've got the Radical Racing Challenge at Watkins Glen. So that's going to be interesting to see those cars on the new layout. I'll actually be commentating there. Then we've got the ARA F3 VRS Super Series at Laguna Seca. That's going to be on Saturday. Formula 3 Championship at Barcelona. That's also going to be on the 29th. SRF Weekend Warriors at Donington on the 30th. That's also going to be making for some fun viewing. IGP Fun F3, which is sponsored by 3D Wrap. That's going to be at Laguna Seca. That's also on the 1st. Sorry, not on the 1st, on the 30th. And then on the 31st, XS LR Off-Road Pro 4 Series. That's a Pro 4 Series trucks. Lankabanen, which is where they're visiting. That's going to be quite the spectacle. Yes, I was struggling to read it on my screen. And then we've got also on the 31st, very good day for watching racing if you're a bit bored on that day. It's going to be the KCT iRacing Winter Series at Daytona. And we also have the ARL Master Cup round 2, also at Oulton Park. So if you do want to see this track visited again, that's going to be on the 31st. We've also got the Sim Racers World IMSA Winter Series at Mid-Ohio. That is going to be the 1st of February. ARL GT3 Pro Trophy, GT3 Pro Trophy, that's going to be at Spa-Francorchamps. Also 1st of Feb. ARA Porsche Cup Championship at, I think that is Sebring. Also 2nd of Feb. And we've got the TireRack.com Road to Indy E-Series. That's going to be at Barber Motorsports Park on the 3rd of Feb. So lots of racing. If you do want to keep up what we do here at Apex Racing TV, do follow us on YouTube. Click the subscribe icon and click that bell icon to get notifications. You can also look us up on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, from myself, Johan Karinas, and Andrew Woodhouse in the commentary booth, and Samuli Kumio, we wish you a wonderful night and see you next time.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke,
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong,
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.